The honourable member for South Surrey White Rock.
The people of Vancouver Island can't afford this costly coalition. Residents of Port Alberni pay nearly $2 per litre for gas. In Comox, groceries are up 11% since last year. With interest rates on the rise, many islanders are in danger of losing their homes. Their NDP MPs don't care. They're pushing the Liberals to drive up the cost of living with more greedy taxes and unlimited spending. Will the coalition show some compassion, stop their inflationary spending, and scrap their tax hikes?
Yeah. The Honourable Minister for the Environment.
Mr. Speaker, more than 600 lives were lost in British Columbia due to the heat waves and forest fires, something we've never seen in the history of this country. The most costliest natural catastrophe in the history of our country. Who do the official opposition think is paying for the tens of billions of dollars that climate change is costing to British Columbians and to Canadians all across the country, Mr. Speaker? They have no answer whatsoever on the climate crisis.
The honourable member for South Surrey White Rock.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the minister should tell that to the Liberal MP from Malpeque who says he's considering leaving Canada because the cost of living is too high. Yesterday's interest rate hike is another punch in the gut for people in the Lower Mainland. The impact on renters and homeowners is cruel to families trying to make a living and meet their costs. This costly coalition is to blame for this mess. Their unrestrained inflationary spending drove up costs and interest rates. NDP Liberals need to stop hurting BC with irresponsible spending and high taxes while they axe the triple tax.
Yeah. The Honourable Minister for Tourism. No, the Honourable Minister for Environment.
Last week, the Insurance Bureau of Canada unveiled that Storm Fiona caused more than $600 million of insured loss. These are not total damages, making it the most expensive storm in Atlantic Canada. On this side of the House, we are fighting climate change and supporting Canadian. Just 2 weeks ago, we sent $186 to families in Ontario, $208 to families in Manitoba, $275 to families in Saskatchewan, and $269 to families in Alberta. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Charlesbourg, Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, we all remember the logo slogan that said, "We're working for the middle class and those who want to join it." Even the president of the Treasury Board was once the Minister of the Middle Class Prosperity, a position that no longer exists, by the way. But what's the bottom line? Martin Munger, Executive Director of the Quebec Food Bank, tells us that the food banks are currently facing a 33% increase in demand. Unprecedented. Can the Prime Minister promise not to raise taxes so that those who are part of the middle class can at least stay there? The Honourable Minister. We understand that the cost of living is very high for Canadians right now, and this is exactly why today there is an opportunity for all members of this House to support aid for Canadians and Canadian families with support for dental care and rental income. It's important for everyone to do this because cost of living is high right now, and I hope we can count on the Conservative members to vote with us to support families and Canadians across this country. Thank you. The Honourable Member for Charlesbourg, Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, when the Prime Minister decided to end the position of the Minister of Middle Class Prosperity, it shows that he didn't understand the economy. We recall that once he said he didn't think much of monetary policy and that budgets balance themselves. But the Royal Bank confirms that middle-class Canadians could see their purchasing power fall by $3,000 by the first half of 2023. And in Quebec, 500,000 food bank users are children. Can the Prime Minister be serious for once in his life and promise not to raise taxes? The Honourable Minister. Let's go back over our record. In 2015, when we introduced the CCB, what did the Conservatives do? They voted against it. Mr. Speaker, when we introduced support for daycare and early childhood learning, what did they do? They voted against it. And since 2015, we have lifted thousands of children out of poverty. Today, they do have an opportunity, if they really want to support families, to help them with dental care. Mr. Speaker, can we count on the Conservatives? Will they be there for Canadian families for the first time? I don't know. Thank you. The honourable member for Joliette. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The year ahead is going to be a difficult one. A new increase in the policy rate yesterday will increase household debt. The cost of living remains astronomical and a recession is looming. The government will have to make some tough choices in the economic date that will come in coming weeks.